Published 0337 EDT, the 24th of August 2017, updated 0505 EDT, the 24th of August 2017. David Davis will refuse to spell out the Brexit bill Britain is prepared to pay when face-to-face talks resume in Brussels next week, it emerged today. The Brexit secretary will rebuff EU chief negotiator Michel Barnier's demand to agree a figure as a condition for the start of trade talks over the winter. Britain's negotiators have accepted the principle of some money having to be paid as part of the exit settlement, which unwinds decades of EU membership. But the details are the subject of tense negotiation and underwent line-by-line clashes between officials on both sides earlier in the summer. David Davis, pictured in London last week, will refuse to spell out the Brexit bill Britain is prepared to pay when face-to-face talks resume in Brussels next week. The Brexit secretary will rebuff EU chief negotiator Michel Barnier, pictured centre-left during the July round of talks, and his demand to agree a figure as a condition for the start of trade talks over the winter. Sources at the Brexit department told The Guardian Mr Davis would risk a delay to the start of trade talks after a summit in October and not name a figure. The source said, "We are in the season of the Great British Bake Off, aren't we? So we will make it clear that they have massively over-egged their demands. In an ideal world they want to salami-slice us, step by step by step," they added. "And on you go, up and up, and there is the bill. That is not going to happen, and we are not going to play the game." Reports have suggested British ministers have privately agreed to a figure in the region of £36 billion. Rumoured demands from Brussels have reached eye-watering sums of £100 billion. Mr Barnier tweeted a reminder this week that settling accounts was among the EU's demands before talks could begin on the future trading relationship. Britain is a major financial contributor to the European Union budget, and negotiators believe the exact final sum offers significant leverage over the final agreement. The new row comes as businesses warned Britain's multi-billion-pound digital economy is at risk of isolation as a result of Brexit unless the government secures a transition agreement avoiding interruptions to the flow of data. Brexit Secretary David Davis is this week unveiling 5 position papers due before the next round of talks. They will cover the UK's negotiating approach to goods on the market at Brexit and after, confidentiality and access to official documents shared between London and Brussels, future civil-judicial cooperation, proposed mechanisms for enforcement and dispute resolution once the European Court of Justice no longer has direct jurisdiction in the UK, data protection. The warning from the CBI came as ministers acknowledged that any disruption to cross-border data flows as a result of the UK's planned withdrawal from the EU could be costly for both Britain and Europe. In the latest of a series of papers, the government will set out proposals to ensure that personal data can continue to be safely and effectively exchanged without imposing extra financial burdens on companies and consumers. But trade body TechChuck said it was unclear whether the government's proposals would provide the legal framework needed for data transfers, and warned that securing the right arrangement could take 18 months and more. The government's position paper, being published on Thursday, will say the UK's £119 billion digital economy is reliant on the free flow of data, adding any disruption to these cross-border data flows could be costly to both Britain and the EU. The document will set out plans for a unique approach to ensure continued close cooperation between public authorities, law enforcement agencies and data protection regulators in the UK and EU. Any solution must allow data to be shared in a safe and properly regulated way while protecting privacy and offering stability and confidence to businesses, authorities and individuals, it will say.